Good evening and welcome to Biz RoundUp. I'm Chamod Fernando and we at our television bring you a collection of business highlights. Let's have a look at the headlines. Plans are revealed on a unique digital ID for a digital economy. Income tax should be directly received by the central government, President asserts. Insurance coverages and special allowances to athletes, Sports Minister says. Now the news in detail. The DigiEcon 2024 Investment Summit, Sri Lanka's premier technology and investment event, organized by the Ministry of Technology and powered by MasterCard, took place at a remarkable lineup of speakers this year. The highly anticipated summit promised to unlock invaluable insights and power strategic alliances that will provide a platform to redefine success in the digital economy.
The summit's comprehensive agenda explores some of the most pressing issues and emerging trends shaping the digital economy, such as fintech, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, sustainable development, among others. The event brought together global investors and venture capitalists, entrepreneurs, policymakers, and thought leaders from across the globe to explore investment opportunities and forge collaborations within Sri Lanka's burgeoning tech industry. The speaker lineup for this year includes Trinity VP, Business Development and Sales, Asia Jonas Tariq, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation Senior Advisor Megha Jain, E27, Co-founder and CEO Mohan Bellani, Accelerate Asia General Partner Craig Dixon, and MasterCard Economics Institute Chief Economist APAC David Munn. The event had President Ranil Wickremesinghe as the chief guest. Some of the other speakers who took part in the summit include BMGF Director of Digital Public Infrastructure Sanjay Jain, Startup Genome Senior Advisor Ravi Narayan, Quest Ventures Managing Partner James Tan, Mars & Group Head CFO Swapnendu Mohanty, IFC Country Manager for Sri Lanka and Maldives Alejandro Alvarez de la Campa, Basic Roots Consulting Partner Sonal Biani, Microsoft, South Asia Alok Lal, and World Bank Senior Digital Development Specialist.
Speaking at the panel discussion at the event, the State Minister of Technology, Minister Kanika Herath, said that the Cabinet approval has been received to implement a unique digital ID in order to set the foundation for the digitalization of the economy, connecting private sector institutes with the public sector. The minister also noted that the government is also in the process of drafting a Cybersecurity Act before the end of this year.
When we talk about corruption, to reduce the corruption, to increase the efficiency of the government services, we should focus mainly on digitalization of the government. We have started many projects. We have started DPIs and digital public goods as well, and we are planning to implement more digital public goods in the government sector. The third pillar is the cyber security. So in 2022 we came up with the Data Protection Act, and it was approved by Parliament. In 2023 we established the Data Protection Authority, and this year we are planning to get the approval for the Cybersecurity Act, which is drafted, and we are working on that. And also when you look at fintech, right, we are trying to increase the cashless economy in Sri Lanka. We have many programs and we are trying to take it down to the grassroots level. The main project which we have is the unique digital implementation of the unique digital ID, and we've got the cabinet approval last week. Hope to implement this, and this will be the base of digitalization, connecting all the government as well as the private institutions, especially the banks.
Further speaking at the event, State Minister Dilum Amanugama said that the government is working on a project to establish technoparks consisting of business process outsourcing companies in scenic locations of the country, including Galle, Nuwara Eliya and Kurunegala. He also noted that the President has appointed a task force to design concessions to bring in 100 information technology companies into the country.
We have started a new project which was started and it was stalled and it's restarted, called the Technoparks, where the government was to promote BPOs in scenic locations like Nuwara Eliya, Galle, Kurunegala. The infrastructure is already been done, and we want to try, and we had several discussions with the private stakeholders So we want to see how we can get the tech parks in operation, and also the new project which BO has started, which is called the 100 IT companies. Excellency, the President has appointed a task force to design a new package of concessions which would benefit the IT sector and which we can offer to them, because as it is, there is not much that we offer.
Also speaking at the event, Chief of the Presidential Staff, Sagala Ratnayaka, said that the government is receiving help from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation to establish a more data-driven and calculated agricultural sector in the country.
Now we are moving into high-tech agriculture. We're encouraging farmers to come into it. We're having the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation supporting us with a data-driven program, which is to collect data so that farmers have access at their fingertips on a mobile phone to the data that is required, which is a very initial stage of modernization to using the more high-tech things like the drones and the various other things. But one of the most important is what we are talking about, the digital economy. The digital economy is twofold. One is what we're going to export, and the other side is the digital transformation we're trying to bring in Sri Lanka. That is, the export industry has been fairly solid in Sri Lanka. It just needs to be promoted and assisted with what the minister talked about, the concessions, the various incentives that help you to get it moving, and the training ground that is required. But it's a digital transformation which actually is going to be very key to Sri Lanka, and that is what we've been struggling with for a while.
Stay tuned. We will return after this commercial break. Welcome back. President Ranil Wickremesinghe last week stressed that the income tax which are collected by the local government authorities should be directly received by the central government. Accordingly, the opposition questioned claim made by government spokesman that a tax on housing proposed in an International Monetary Fund deal is only limited to rich people. However, President Wickremesinghe made a promise in Parliament that the first house of a citizen will be excluded from the property tax.
I just want to tell the House in regard to the rental income, we are going to have a wealth tax. And there will be a very high threshold. So 90% of the people's houses will not even be, one house will be exempt from it. So don't worry, your house is safe. But why is it we are going to rental income? No, this was based on rating. Then we came up with a problem. Rates belongs to the provincial council. So if we go on the rating business, there's a possibility that the court can say that this money belongs to the provincial council. So we want to get it here. So we have used a different formula called rental income. Your income tax belongs to the central government. It's the same. You would generally have used the ratings, but to get over the constitutional issue, that we have done this. But it's going to have a very high threshold, and I don't think the vast majority of the people in this country should even be worried about their house. So that's all. But we will have to get on to wealth tax. I know SJB is very, very worried that their billionaires who are with them will get a tax. But nevertheless, this is the reason.
Minister of Tourism, Land, Sports and Youth Affairs, Harin Fernando, announced that 60 athletes who have achieved international recognition receive a monthly allowance of 50,000 rupees, while an additional 850 athletes receive 10,000 rupees per month. Minister Fernando also highlighted the government's effort to provide insurance coverage for school rugby players as they are prone to career-ending injuries. Minister Fernando emphasized the government's significant investment in athletes' welfare during press briefing held at the Presidential Media Centre recently.
Minister Fernando announced that a new Sports Act is set to be presented for cabinet approval, encompassing all 73 sports practiced in Sri Lanka, including cricket. He reaffirmed the government's commitment to depoliticizing sports and shared plans for the construction of an additional stadium, aiming to meet the requirements to potentially host the 2026 Cricket World Cup. Turning to tourism, Minister Fernando shared that over 990 tourists have visited Sri Lanka this year, and plans are in place to implement a free visa issuance system to boost this number further. 5 global promotional campaigns have been executed targeting markets in China, Japan, India, and Europe. Efforts to enhance maritime tourism are underway, focusing on transforming Trincomalee and Arugam Bay into major hubs for maritime activities.
The 10th consecutive session of the CFA Society Sri Lanka Capital Market Awards, recognizing and celebrating the financial industry of Sri Lanka, was held at a hotel in Colombo recently. Held under the theme Invest Smart, Build Resilience, Thrive in Sri Lanka. This year's award embraced the market's cautious optimism and delved into strategies for constructing robust investment portfolios in the Sri Lankan context.
Both traditional and non-traditional investment options will be explored, offering valuable insights to attendees. The ceremony also honored outstanding achievements in various categories, including Best Equity Research Team, Best Equity Research Report, Best Sector Report, Best Investor Relations Team, and Best Unit Trust Team. Within each category, exceptional performers were recognized with gold, silver, and bronze awards. As part of the event, a stimulating panel discussion will feature prominent figures from the industry, the distinguished panelists related to the financial sector. Distinguished guests and key industry figures will grace the event with their presence, including Securities and Exchange Commission Chairman Faisal Saleh and Colombo Stock Exchange Chairman Dilshan Veerasekar.
Stay tuned, we will return after this commercial break. Welcome back. Speaking at the event, Chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Faisal Saleh, emphasized that the lack of objective, independent and high-quality professional research has been major weakness in the capital market of the country. He stressed that research reports have become influenced by the narrow interests and short-term considerations of the stockbrokers and market intermediaries.
A major weakness we continue to see in our capital market is the lack of objective, independent, high-quality professional research to support investor guidance, investor advice, and investor decision making. Independent and objective research should form the basis for sound professional investment advice. How many investment advisors in the market today actually practice this? Over time, research reports seem to have become largely driven by narrow interests and short-term profit considerations of stockbrokers and market intermediaries, rather than be based on objective analysis of macroeconomic fundamentals, industry fundamentals, and business fundamentals.
The State Minister of Foreign Affairs, Taraka Balasuriya, led the Sri Lankan delegation to the 19th meeting of the Ministers of Foreign Affairs of the member states of the Asia Cooperation Dialogue held in Iran on Monday. The 19th ministerial meeting was inaugurated by Dr. Ali Bagheri, the acting Minister of the Foreign Affairs of Iran.
In his statement, State Minister Balasuriya expressed Sri Lanka's commitment to working with ACD member states to enhance trade relations, investment opportunities, and economic integration. He further noted that the establishment of free trade agreements and regional economic partnerships will pave the way for a more prosperous and resilient Asia. State Minister Balasuriya highlighted the rapid advancements in technology and science, presenting unprecedented opportunities for collaboration. He also drew attention to Sri Lanka's commitment to achieving net zero carbon emissions by 2040, noting that Sri Lanka is the first country in Asia to incorporate the global objective of zero carbon emissions into its national policy. On the sidelines of the ministerial meeting, State Minister Balasuriya also held bilateral discussions with Andrei Rudenko, Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Russian Federation, and discussed his visit to Moscow.
A 7-member delegation led by Chairman of the Thai Chamber of Commerce, Sanan Angubolkul, met with Chairman of the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce, Dominda Hulangama along with senior representatives of the chamber recently. This meeting culminated in the renewal of a memorandum of understanding aimed at enhancing trade, investment and tourism between Sri Lanka and Thailand.
The MOU was signed in the presence of Ambassador designated to Thailand, Vijayanthi Drisinghe, and President of the Sri Lanka, Greater Mekong Business Council of the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce, SMD Surya Kumar. This renewal marks a significant milestone in the historic partnership between the two chambers, as the Ceylon Chamber's first MOU was originally established with the Board of Trade of Thailand in 1988. Angu Bolgul expressed his enthusiasm about the renewed collaboration, emphasizing the potential to leverage the Ceylon Chamber's position as Sri Lanka's leading business chamber to foster bilateral trade ties. Hulangamu echoed these sentiments, stressing the importance of facilitating great exchange of ideas, technology and commerce between the two countries.
With that, we wind up for today. For this and more, subscribe our channel on YouTube, follow us on Facebook. See you tomorrow with the State of Business at 7:45 p.m. Take care and good night.